Off the west coast of Mexico in the Pacific Ocean near the Sea of Cortez, there's a place called Magdalena Bay, where every year at the end of October into November, there's a striped marlin migration. And they are essentially following a sardine migration. These marlin congregate in huge numbers and they feed off these bait balls of sardines. And I was fortunate to go out there in October last year looking specifically for these striped marlin, and I found huge numbers of them. We had bait balls of maybe a few hundred fish and some bait balls with a few million fish. And the sea lions and the striped marlin were just picking the sardines off one for one. Again, completely relaxed in my presence. Most of the time I was by myself. Now and again another boat would come along and then you'd have a few other photographers hanging in the water, but generally I like to be there by myself and just to spend time and absorb this natural phenomenon that's happening, where this is the food chain, this is nature in the balance of marlin migrating up from certain parts of the Pacific Ocean, knowing that the sardines are migrating and picking them off. And they're following a specific temperature regime, which is about 76 degrees Fahrenheit. With these striped marlin, they would very seldom would two of them charge into the same bait ball. It was generally one goes for it, has a go. If it gets one, cool, then the next one comes in, and then the next one comes in. So there's continuous action. And the sardines, as a way of trying to keep alive or not get eaten, is just try and stay in that bait ball. And the marlin are trying to separate a sardine from getting them out of the shoal, and then they can hunt them down. On occasion, I certainly saw the marlin with that bill smack a few, and then they disable the sardine and then they gulp them down. I saw on one occasion it had actually speared one, and then it swam out of the shoal and it shook its head, and then the sardine came off the spear, this bill in the front, and then it jumped onto it and swallowed it. Again, just phenomenal experiences with this crystal blue water, 40-50 meter viz, and these shoals of millions and millions of sardines and these thousands of striped marlin slowly just eating their fill all day, with no other harassment from anyone. Now and again there'd be some frigate birds and some sea lions. So when we go out and look for these marlin, you're generally looking for frigate birds. Frigates are those travelers of the ocean who look for food, and they either harass these boobies, and the boobies then will regurgitate their food and the frigates will catch them, or they follow these bait balls and these bait shoals of sardines, and knowing that if there are fish jumping out of the water, fleeing from the predators in the water, the frigates will scoop them up. And so that's what we generally looked for, is surface action with a bait ball with these frigates as telltale indicators of where the bait ball is. And then you jump in, and then the bait ball is normally static, so it's going around in a circle all the time, and the frigates above you, and then the marlin are there just picking off the sardines one for one. Sometimes there would be sea lions amongst the marlin, and then there was again this sort of interaction, no one fighting for the same food source. The sea lions would come in and then the marlin would come in, and so there was never sort of this huge aggression. It was like this mutual respect for feeding off the sardines. Some of the times the sardine shoal had come, it would envelop me, and then I got a little apprehensive at one point where I thought, man, I wonder if this marlin's not going to come charging through and spear me with its bill. But that never happened. I think they know exactly where you are. I mean, I've never saw a marlin spear a sea lion. I never saw another marlin spear another marlin. So I think that there's again this courtesy. If the sardines were around me, they would just wait until they could see I was out of the shoal, and then they would come in and harass and try and get some food. So again, this great respect of predators on the prey. These striped marlin are pelagic, so they live in the open oceans, and they feed primarily on these sardines, and so they'll just follow them up the coast from South America all the way up into Southern California, Magdalena Bay on the west coast of the Baja Peninsula is the prime spot to see these striped marlin migrations, and it's normally October through to end of November, and it is a bucket list experience, and it is one of the things that as an ocean lover you really need to get out there, because it's not just the marlin, it's the whole ecosystem that's at play. The sea lions, the turtles, the orcas, the marlin. I saw sailfish, I saw wahoo. It is just a whole plethora of marine life, this extravaganza of marine life in this crystal clear water. Unbelievable. I'm definitely going to go back.